the starting lineup for your Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Metlow. Batting first, second baseman, number 14, Owen Dixon. Batting second, center fielder, number 15, Jake Wilson. Batting third, designated hitter, number 27, Ryan Rio. Batting fourth, first baseman, number 26, Adam Hong. Batting fifth, right fielder, number 8, Ricky Infante. Batting sixth, left fielder, number 34, James Anderson. Batting seventh, shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns. Batting eighth, catcher, number 44, Tyler Wilson. And batting ninth, third baseman, number 17, Brendan Colley. On the mound for Baycats this afternoon, number 12, Brad Greenison. Here are the umpires for today's game. Calling all the strikes, Cleveland Silversworth. At first base, Ryan Jackson. And at third base, Preston Hughes. Fans, if you can please rise if you are able to, and kindly remove your hats for national anthem.
Live from Vintage Throne Stadium, welcome to Barrie Baycats Baseball on Baycats TV and Rogers TV Barrie. This is Game 2 of the IBL first-round playoff series between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Barrie Baycats. I'm Patrick Melbourne here with you. It should be a great one here. Nice sunny day here at the ballpark, and we'll take a quick look around the league at the first-round playoff bracket so far. London up over Brantford early in that series, 1-0. Toronto up 1-0 after one game. Guelph and Hamilton have game 1 today, and then Welland is 2 games up over Kitchener in their series. All 4 series have a game today on this wonderful sunny afternoon. Brad Grieveson taking the mound. We'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Leafs in a moment, but Grieveson this season 4-2 with a 2.89 ERA. He's a guy that hasn't made a ton of starts, but he's shown a great capability of having some real stamina whenever he comes out of the bullpen. He's a guy who can come in late in the game as a closer, but he can also be a great long reliever and sometimes a starter as well. Let's take a look at the Leafs lineup. Jose Vinicio will lead off. Then it'll be Castaldo, Salazzo, and Connects, Lewis, Mara, Toppoli, Tamani, and Carrington. Vinicio, the speedy shortstop at the top of the order. So it'll be Jose Vinicio leading things off for the Maple Leafs here in the first inning. First inning brought to you by Starting Lineup Uniforms and Apparel, the official jersey provider of the Barrie Baycats. Your season starts here. And game 2 starts right now. Vinicio shows bunt, and the pitch is inside from Brad Grieveson. And we're underway here in Barrie at 4:06 p.m. Eastern Time. Grieveson working quickly, kicks and throws, and that is up high. Vinicio, we mentioned his speed. He's a guy who can steal a base at any time, so it's important to keep him off the base paths early in a game. He stole 2 bases in game 1. He's been a solid hitter all season long as the strike goes by, looking, and count is 2-1. Here it is from Brad, and it's fouled away 2-2. In the regular season this year, Vinicio hit only .267, but he stole 26 bases and had 22 RBI, 46 hits in 37 games. So he's a good leadoff hitter for this Maple Leafs team. And he's a guy that's been their leadoff hitter for almost all of this season, as that pitch is outside, and it is 2-2, or 3-2, excuse me. It'll be Jamie Killingsworth behind the plate today as the umpire. Pitch from Grieveson. And that is strike 3. Vinicio threw away the bat, thought it was ball 4. It wasn't, 1 away. And now Jordan Castaldo will bat with 1 out. Vinicio thought that ball was outside the strike zone. He actually threw away the bat. You don't see that so often early in a game. Sometimes you see it a little bit later on if guys are used to the way a strike zone is trending, but it's not often you see that at the start of the game. Pitch outside to Castaldo, and the count is 1-0. Castaldo, the longtime Baycat, was with the Baycats for so many of those championship seasons. Was never teammates with Grieveson, though, as that's inside 2-0. Grieveson pitched starting in 2002, was part of that 2005 championship team, but then left the team for a little while, came back in 2020. Was set to be a part of the pitching coach and the coaching staff. As that's hit to shallow center, it's going to get down in front of Jake Wilson. He dove for it, tried to get it, but it'll be a base hit for Castaldo. First hit of the game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So here's Jonathan Salazzo for his first at-bat. Castaldo last season in that second round series between the Maple Leafs and the Baycats, he was leading off that year. And he had just so much success in this ballpark in the playoffs last year. He led off the game with the home run, if I remember right. He was just locked in. Loves hitting here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Strike goes by to Salazzo, 0-1. The Leafs lineup has changed a little bit since last year, but still a lot of big names, and Salazzo has been with the Leafs for quite some time now. Outside, 1-1. You look at the names like Castaldo, Salazzo, Connect, some of the names back into the batting order this year, and they've been important names. Justin Mara not in the lineup tonight, notably, for the Maple Leafs. Count 1-1. Runner takes the lead off first. That's Castaldo. He's not super fast. That's hit to right, and that's going to get down for a base hit. 2 straight singles off Grieveson, as taking it on a bounce is Brandt Infante. 2 on, 1 out. So 2 on, and that's not the way the Baycats wanted to open up this game. It was such a good game pitching-wise yesterday for both teams. It was Frank Garces for the Baycats and Angel Castro for the Maple Leafs, and they both pitched really, really well. I mean, Garces got the loss, but he threw 100 strikes in that game. Threw 145 pitches overall, and was just unbelievable. I mean, the run count was a little bit higher than you'd expect, as that's outside for ball 1. But it was Christie Pitts, and sometimes it's hard to limit runs there. It's a very tough place to pitch on the road. And Marcus Connect, a very tough guy to pitch to, former Blue Jays draft pick. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2010. he fouls that one off to the left side. Connect has played across minor league baseball in the Can-Am League and the Atlantic League. First played with the Leafs in 2018. Had 8 home runs in 2019. And that wasn't a season that's as long as this one, so it's impressive to have 8 home runs. Here's the 1-1. That's hit up the middle for a base hit. Castaldo round third. He's going to stay there. It's bases loaded with 1 out here in the first for Connor Lewis. So Lewis in a really good situation for the Maple Leafs early on. Grieveson has located well, but 3 straight singles, just catching a little bit too much of that strike zone. And he'll have to readjust his strategy. Still only 1 out in the inning. Lewis, strong right-handed hitter against the right-handed Brad Grieveson. And the first pitch to Lewis is hit on the ground to third. Colley's got it. He'll go home. The throw is wide. Plumpton, they get the first one over to first. He's safe at first. They do get the runner Castaldo at home for out number 2. Bases loaded, but it's still scoreless. So it's still scoreless in this game. Dan Mara coming up. Colley coming home. It's a fielder's choice. Off the ground out. They tried to go to first for the double play, but Lewis beat it out. So here's Mara trying to do the same thing with the bases loaded, but now there are 2 out, and a fly ball ends the inning. First pitch right in the middle for strike number 1. Grieveson trying to pitch out of a jam. You look back to that 5-3 Leafs win last night, there were a lot of bases loaded opportunities for both teams, but pitchers consistently managed to get out of those jams. High fly ball right side, that's going to go well foul. Up next near the food tent down there. Count 0-2 to Mara. If you're new to watching the Toronto Maple Leafs, Mara is one of 3 Maras on the team. They're all brothers. Reliever Adam Mara, second baseman Dan Mara, catcher Justin Mara. Pitch outside to Dan. You've got good speed around the bases right now with Salazzo at third, Connect at second, and Lewis at first. Here's the 1-2. Outside, ball 2. Good curveball there from Brad. And when that curveball's working, it's a really effective alternative to the fastball because he can locate the fastball as well as anybody in the IBL, but then that curveball is a really different look. Here's the pitch from Grieveson. Off the end of the bat to second base. Moving over is Jansen. Spins, throws on to first. Odd makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. Leafs load up the bases, but they do not score. You're watching Barrie Baycats baseball on Baycats TV.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared.
Owen Jansen will lead things off here in the Baycats half of the first inning. Welcome back to Barrie Baycats TV. Patrick Melbourne here with you. Brian Backlund, our producer today. Baycats will lead off with Owen Jansen, Jake Wilson, and Ryan Rio. We'll give you the full lineup in just a moment, but the first pitch from Maple Leafs left-hander Dustin Richardson comes in, and it is a strike. And that's how Richardson gets started tonight. Richardson almost always a reliever for the Maple Leafs. And pitch is upstairs, 1-1.
We'll look after it.
Jansen, left-handed batter, playing second base tonight. Made a good play in the top half of the inning. Chops that one to right center field. Moving over is Connor Lewis. Also Greg Carrington diving and making the catch is the center fielder for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Connor Lewis, one away. What a play by Lewis in the outfield. Jake Wilson, second batter of the inning. Similar order to what the Baycats had in Game 1, a few differences. Jansen has moved up to the 1 spot in the order after being in the 2 spot yesterday. Wilson down to the 2 spot. He did not have his best day in Game 1. He was 0 for 5 in that game. But a much different pitcher on the hill today with Dustin Richardson compared to Angel Castro. Pitch from the lefty, Richardson. You look at Richardson as that's fouled to the left side. And he's a guy who normally gives you 1 or 2 innings. He's a late innings reliever. They've used him as a closer a little bit, although he only has a couple of saves on the season. But you look back to last year, he had a 7-inning appearance. Here's the 0-2. That's up high, 1-2. And that kind of reminds you of Brad Grieveson a little bit, someone who's normally out of the pen but can come out of the rotation if needed and give you a long outing. Leafs rotation depth, not all of them qualified for the postseason roster, as that is a foul ball. Richardson coming in, he thought it was fair. And he's questioning why it wasn't a live ball off the bat. He's saying it was a fair ball up in front. And he's motioning to first base to see if the other umpire saw something, but it will be a foul ball. Wilson, it hit off his bat, and home plate umpire Jamie Killingsworth saying it hit into foul territory. Dustin Richardson doesn't think so, but pitcher versus umpire, pitchers don't tend to win that argument. So he's back on the mound. 1-2 pitch coming to the lefty, Jake Wilson. Here it comes. Swing and a foul back, dropped by the catcher, Toppoli. And the count remains 1-2. Toppoli, by the way, is the catcher today. It's normally Justin Mara for Toronto. But Damon Toppoli back behind there. Mara unavailable for this game. And if you're wondering where you've heard Toppoli's name before in relation to the Leafs, up high, 2-2. He's not only been with the Leafs for quite some time, he was also their manager over the last few years. And he began the season as the Leafs manager, but the Leafs manager right now is Garrett Takamatsu, who began the season as a player. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's inside, ball 3. Takamatsu left for the Frontier League and was deemed ineligible for the playoffs, so the Leafs decided to make him the manager. Keep him in the dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Got him. Fastball on the outside part of the plate. Fools Jake Wilson. 1 away. Big cheers for Ryan Rio, as my apologies, there are 2 out in the inning. After Jansen flew out and Wilson struck out. And now Ryan Rio, who saw the ball really well in Game 1 of this series. Had a home run and a double yesterday. There's a strike. Just about no one in the Baycats order could really figure out Angel Castro, but Ryan Rio could. He saw him really well all day yesterday at Christie Pitts. The 0-1's in there for a strike, 0-2. Crowd doesn't love it. Sure, Rio probably doesn't love it either, but he'll take note of the strike zone. The 0-2, that's strike three, a three-pitch strikeout, and Rio is retired. Baycats go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the first inning. You're watching Baycats TV and the Baycats on Rogers TV Barrie.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
Welcome back. Top of the second inning here on Baycats TV. Let's give you the defense behind Brad Grieveson for the Baycats. Left to right in the outfield will be Anderson, Wilson, and Infante. As pitch is in there for a strike. Odd at first base, Jansen at second, Burns at short, and Brendan Colley is the third baseman. And then the catcher for Grieveson is Tyler Plumpton today. 0-1, check swing. They go to first, and he went 0-2. It'll be Topley, then Grant Tamaney and Greg Carrington. 0-2. And that's just up high, 1-2. Second inning brought to you by Barrie Today. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. 1-2's hit to left field. Moving over is Anderson. Also moving back over by the wall, and it's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Topley rounds first. He's heading into second. It's a leadoff double for Damon Topley. So Grant Tamani will bat with a leadoff runner in scoring position. And that's the second straight inning the Leafs have had someone in scoring position. Not a trend you want to be starting if you're the Baycats. And Brad Grieveson will be the first to tell you that one for sure. That's down and away on the curveball, and it's 1-0. First inning started with a strikeout to Jose Vinicio. Since then, the Maple Leafs, have had 5 hitters reach base. That's down low. Baycats really did not need any bullpen help yesterday. Frank Garces went 8 innings. Evan Souls was warming up a little bit, so you wonder if he's available out of the bullpen at some point today. But no one other than Garces pitched in Game 1. That pitch is outside, 3-0. Greg Carrington is on deck. 3-0 is inside. That's ball 4. So Tamani reaches base via the walk, and that'll bring up Carrington. Carrington, very much that reverse leadoff type of hitter where he gets on base an awful lot and has some speed. Lefty against the righty Grieveson. Grieveson kicks, throws, and that's a strike. Showing bunt was Carrington. Greg Carrington had 40 stolen bases this season in 36 games. Had a .304 average and an on-base average up over 400. This guy can hit. Kicks and throws, shows bunt again, and does bunt. Right back to Grieveson, who goes to third. They'll get the lead runner, Toppoli. Allow Carrington to reach, but Toppoli retired for the first out of the inning. Runners on first and second. So Carrington out on the fielder's choice. Or excuse me, Toppoli out on the fielder's choice. Carrington reaches to first on said fielder's choice. And there are runners on first and second for Vinicio. And if we talk about Carrington's speed, we have to once again mention Vinicio's. Former AAA shortstop in the Boston Red Sox system. Would have been Pawtucket Red Sox at the time, as that's hit to center. Jake Wilson moves over and makes the catch, and he gets the ball back in very quickly and keeps the runners at first and second. Good job by Jake in the outfield. So the former Baycat steps in. Jordan Castaldo, runners on first and second. Castaldo singled his last time up and was out trying to go home after Brennan Colley decided to go home on a ground ball and get the lead runner. Here's a pitch from Grieveson, and that's way inside, 1-0. Castaldo kind of started out this season slowly. He did not have the start that everybody kind of expected him to have, but once he got into a groove, he had an excellent year. Hit .343, more walks than strikeouts, 6 home runs. Hit to the right side, that gets through for a base hit. Rounding third is Tamani. He'll get home. No, he won't. What a throw to get Grant Tamani. And that'll end the inning. Still 0-0 here on Baycats TV. Adam Odd will lead things off here for the Barrie Baycats in the last half of the second inning. It'll be Odd, then Brant Fianfonte and James Anderson. The Baycats went down in order in the first. With a couple of strikeouts and a flyout. Dustin Richardson on the mound as that was hit to the left side and through the shortstop Vinicio for a leadoff single for Adam Odd. Baycats have the first base runner of the inning. And not only the first base runner of the inning, first base runner of the game for the Baycats here in the second inning. Branfi Infante steps in. Infante 1 for 4 in game 1 of the series. Would love him to get going at the plate. Had a couple of really good games this summer. But if he can get into that groove consistently, Baycats will have a really good hitter in the middle of that order. First pitch was a strike, 0-1. Lefty kick steals, hit to the right side, and foul. Max Loico, the first base coach today, just out of the way of that one. That's something I wouldn't be able to do, that first base coach job. There's so many line drives over there that I'd be a little scared. I won't lie to you. No balls, 2 strikes. Dustin Richardson kicks, throws. That's on the ground to third base. Moving over, Salazzo throws on to first. It was more into the shortstop territory as he gets the out. But Salazzo got the ball, made it so Venecio wouldn't have to, and there's one out. Anderson up for the first time in this game. Baycats left fielder today, and the Baycats really have to be loving the flexibility he gives them defensively. So he can be a catcher, a first baseman, a left fielder, a right fielder, and he can take a ball like he just did, 1-0. Been such a consistent presence for the Baycats this season and such a welcome member of this batting order. On the ground, back to Richardson. It was a really slow hop. He'll get it over to first, but moving over to third is Adam Odd. And there are 2 away. So here's Carson Burns. This is Burns' first plate appearance of the playoffs. He did not play in game 1. But back at his familiar shortstop position here at home for game 2. Odd takes the lead off third, and the first pitch is off speed, up high to Burns. Count 1-0. Burns, a left-handed hitter and a very strong defender who has also had some really good times at the plate this year. There's a... I think he just got a piece of that one. It's a foul ball for a strike, 1-1. Burns' month of June was something else. He was just hitting everything. And then after that, he was consistent, but it was really that big month that has defined his season so far. Hit up the middle softly. Second baseman Mara over to the first baseman Castaldo, and that'll end the inning. Baycats strand a runner at third. And we're heading to the third here at Vintage Throne Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV and the Barrie Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bachet, a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie, or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer!
Jonathan Salazzo will lead things off here in the third inning, top three here, in a game that's moved along pretty quickly so far. About half an hour in, and the first two innings already complete. First pitch from Grieveson is hit to the right side. It's another base hit. And Salazzo has his second of the day. He singled in the first, and now singles here to lead off the third inning. So here's Connect for the second time today. And I have an interesting kind of Marcus Connect story here. I was going through my old collection of Blue Jays programs, and the one from 2010, the year after he got drafted, and there was a future Blue Jays section, and Marcus Connect was in there. So a very well-regarded prospect back then as he pops that one up. Adam Odd moving in, makes the catch for the out. First out of the inning. Here's Connor Lewis. And Marcus Connect, although he did not make the Blue Jays in his career, has played for so many big teams and has been a part of the Canadian junior national team. A very good career for Marcus Connect. And now playing with the Toronto Maple Leafs, hoping to get far into the playoffs. Baycats obviously hoping to stop them from getting far and go far themselves. Throw over to first, back in time. Connect's got good speed. Or excuse me, Salazzo's got good speed over there at first. Pitch from Grieveson. 37th pitch of the day is a strike to Lewis. Lewis hit into a fielder's choice in the first. Hit it to third base, and Brendan Cawley wisely decided to come home and get that lead runner. And that's why it's 0-0 right now. That's hit right back to Cawley, and this time it gets through into the outfield for a hit. Up to second goes Salazzo, and it's the second hit of the inning for the Maple Leafs. So here's Dan Mara. Tough play at third base for Cawley. That was through by the time he saw it. And it's a base hit scored, which I think is absolutely the right call. First pitch from Grieveson's down low. Sometimes the ball has so much exit velo when it goes in that direction that it's really, really tough to get to it, even though it looks simple off the bat. It's really, really not. 1-0. Just high, 2-0. Runner on second is Salazzo. He's got good speed. Lewis has better speed, though, at first. Hit to second base and through for a base hit. Rounding third, no, staying at third. He was thinking about going home, but he was stopped at third by third base coach Garrett Takamatsu. And the bases are loaded for Damon Toppoli. Toppoli in a big spot now. Lewis moves up to second on the play. It's a single for Dan Mara. It also moves Salazzo up to third. First pitch by Grieveson. Right in the middle for a strike. Toppoli doubled to lead off the second inning. Baycats have so far been able to end innings without giving into the Maple Leafs' threats, but the more you do it, the more kind of worrisome it is if you're the Barrie Baycats. You don't want to see it happen over and over again. You'd like to see some quick innings. 1 ball, 1 strike to Damon Toppoli. Kicks, throws. Hit to the left side. Cawley makes the catch. That's all he'll get. Did he catch it or did he get it on a bounce? He got it on a bounce, so everybody's safe. I thought he had made the catch, but it took a sharp bounce off the bat. Cawley did a good job to keep it in the infield, but the Maple Leafs have scored their first run of the game. They'll give an error on the play. Pitch by Grieveson is swung on and missed. Base is still loaded. Topley reaching on the error. And that scores a run. Just high. Tamani walked his first time up. Pitch from Grieveson, the right-hander, is up and in. Baycats, by the way, wearing their home whites today on this Saturday afternoon game. Maple Leafs wearing their blue shirts and gray pants. Here's the 2-1. Check swing. That's a strike. 2-2. Baycats fans clapping. A lot of them have the rally towels here tonight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is from Grieveson. On the ground, up the middle. Burns goes to second for 1. Back to first. Got him! What a play! And that'll end the inning. Leafs add 1, but the Baycats mostly get out of the jam, heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning here on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Third inning brought to you by First Aid Canada, your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Welcome back to Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. I'm Patrick Melbourne. Glad to have you in for this one, Game 2 of this IBL playoff series. Hit down the middle by Plumpton, going back is Lewis, and he makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Just caught it in the tip of his glove. Nice play by Lewis. So Brandon Colley will take his first at-bat of the day. Colley went 1 for 4 with a run yesterday. And he swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. Nice crowd here at Vintage Throne Stadium. A lot of people arriving a little bit later today because it is kind of a hot day. We see a few umbrellas, including one right in front of us. But after the rain over the last few tries at Baycats baseball, we'll take the nice sun. Swinging a foul tip back 0-2. we had set up for 2 straight games, that Brantford regular season finale and then our first try at game 1 in the series. And there was just so much rain that it wasn't possible to play those games. Up and in, 1 and 2. Just glad to have a baseball game today, and I always kind of joke with Ben Davey, my broadcast partner here, about what we consider good baseball weather. He has a higher tolerance for hot weather than I do, apparently. That's missed, and now thrown into the outfield, so Brandon Colley will make it to first base. You don't see that very often. He missed the ball, but it was dropped by Topley behind the plate, and he made it to first base. So Brandon Colley aboard off what I assume is an error by Damon Topley. He first dropped the ball and then trying to throw it to first on the drop, third strike, threw it into right field. Colley's got good speed at first. He's a guy who's been used as a pinch runner this season. And at the top of the order, Owen Jansen. Kicks and throws. That's a strike. Jansen 1 for 3 officially in last night's ball game. Oh for 1 today. Flew out to Connor Lewis. Fouled to the left side. And the kids at the stadium do not like that kind of foul ball much because it doesn't go high enough to go over the fence, so there's nothing to go run after. They like the foul balls where it goes over the fence and they can go run for it. Of course, if you come to Vintage Throne Stadium, you are asked to give the ball back in exchange for a bit of a prize. That's up and away, 2 and 2, or 1 and 2. Richardson looking over at first. He has not done more than 2 innings in an appearance in quite some time. So trying something new today. Lefty comes home, and that's outside. Dustin Richardson has not gone more than 2 innings in an appearance since September 30th of last year. That was in the finals against London. Since then, he's gone 1 inning, 2 innings, 1 inning, 2/3, 1 inning, 1 inning, 2 innings, and an inning and a third. So mostly a short reliever as Colley goes from first. That's a ball. He'll go in without a throw. Pick the right pitch to go on and advances to second base. Richardson has faced Barrie only the 2 times this season, both in June 1st and June 9th. Gave up 2 hits in both. Did not give up a run in either. Here's the 3-2. And Jansen strikes out. Foul tip goes back into the glove. 2 out. So here's Jake Wilson. Wilson up for the second time today, struck out in his first appearance. Baycats would love Jake Wilson to get going. So far 0 for 6 in this series. And the first pitch is outside for ball 1. Wilson had an amazing second half of the year, has really turned around his approach, become a much more patient hitter. Has hit a lot of doubles and has really become a guy you can hit either at the top of the order or in the middle. Here's the 1-0. And that's down low for a ball 2-0. We've seen him in the 5 spot in the batting order. We've seen him in the leadoff spot, and tonight in the 2. But something more impressive even than that is we've seen him not only in the outfield but also at second base. So he's flexible in the batting order, but he's also flexible defensively. The Baycats have loved their flexibility when it comes to defenders this season. There's a strike, 2-1. Been a consistent strike zone so far. A little bit bigger than your average strike zone, I would have said, but fairly consistent overall. The only player to complain about the zone today was Jose Vinicio right at the top of the game. Big cut and a miss there from Wilson, 2-2. Vinicio, right out of the gate, just came in, had a 3-2 count, and got the called strike 3. But before the umpire made the call, he had thrown away the bat to try and influence it a little bit. You don't see that very often at the start of a game. 2-2 is low and away, 3-2. Later in the game, more normal. I've seen it a bunch. First batter of the game, I don't think I've seen that. Because there's nothing to be angry at because you don't know the zone yet. The pitchers are even still establishing the strike zone. Here's the 3-2. Got him. And that'll end the inning. Wilson down on strikes, and the Leafs still have a 1-0 lead heading to the 4th inning. You're watching Baycats TV, and the Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared.
Greg Carrington will lead things off for the Maple Leafs, excuse me. I've messed that up a few times tonight. I need to clean that up a little bit. First pitch from Grieveson of the Baycats is down and away. Carrington of the Maple Leafs standing in for the second time today. Reached on a fielder's choice in his first at-bat in the second as he grounds that one foul right side. Can't 1-1 to Carrington. And that one's way outside. Carrington, a guy you do not want on base. We mentioned the speed earlier. It's a Leafs order with a fair amount of speed all the way through the batting order. It's not as fast a lineup as the Welland Jackfish is, but it's still a lineup that can move on the base paths. There's a strike, 2-2. Fourth inning, by the way, brought to you by Centerfield Foods, feeding fans and families at Barrie Community Sports Complex since 2005. Fouled away again by Carrington. Good at bat here. Remains 2-2. Tough lefty hitter against the righty Grieveson. On the ground, right back to Brad. It's going to bounce up. Jansen fielding, throwing on to first, but it's going to be late. Carrington can move it down the line. And by the time it got past Grieveson, it was too late to get him. It's a leadoff single. It was a good effort by Owen Jansen at second base. I mean, with most runners in baseball, you're going to get him there, but with Vinicio or Carrington, it's going to be tough. I was talking to Brendan Lang a few games ago about the stolen base numbers in the IBL this season, and I was kind of quizzing him on who the top, as that's over to first, and they got him! Brad Grieveson picks off Greg Carrington at first base, one away. Well, I didn't expect that one, to be honest. What a heads-up play by Brad Grieveson. So it kind of makes my stolen base point a little bit out of place now as Vinicio fouls that off, but I'm going to say it anyway. 7 of the top 10 stolen base in the stolen base category this year were Welland Jackfish. The 3 that weren't were Jose Vinicio, Malik Collymore from Guelph, as Vinicio hits that on the ground to Burns. Over to first, 2 away. And Noel McGarry-Doyle from the Baycats. Brandon Nicholson had 48 stolen bases this year for Welland. 48 stolen bases. I mean, that's just wild. In a season where he played 42 games, he was stealing almost every time he got onto the base paths, it felt like. Gio Morello was second with 36, and then no one else had more than 27. And then you look at what Welland has done this playoffs already, as we can bring the playoff bracket up again shortly here on Baycats TV. 1-0 to Castaldo after a ball in the dirt. They're stealing even more in the playoffs already. That's fouled away. Across the Welland Jackfish's 2 wins so far against the Kitchener Panthers in the postseason this year, Tyler Dupuis, their second baseman, already has 5 stolen bases, and Hogan Brown, one of their outfielders, has 3. So, in case you were wondering if the Jackfish were going to change up their style a little bit for the playoffs, they are not. That's fouled away by Castaldo. Good battle going on here, 1-2. Fans clapping for Brad Grieveson to try and finish this inning with a strikeout. Lefty hitter back in his stance. Kicks and throws. On the ground, first base side. Diving is both Odd and Jansen, but it's going to get into the outfield. Fielding it is Infante. It's a base hit for Jordan Castaldo with 2 out. So here's Salazzo. Not a ton of Maple Leafs fans here today. We knew the Bushmen were coming up for Game 1. I don't know if they're here today. That's on the ground up the middle. Burns goes to the bag and takes it himself to retire the side. Still 1-0 Toronto as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and the Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie. Ryan Rio will lead things off here in the home half of the fourth inning for the Barrie Baycats. Welcome back to Baycats TV. Patrick Melbourne with you. Ben Davey on assignment today. Looking forward to having Ben back in the booth for the rest of the playoffs. Baycats hoping there will be a game here on Tuesday. Kicks and throws. And the first pitch to Rio is a swinging strike on a pitch down in the zone. And it's 0-1. Another swinging strike, 0-2. Rio struck out his first time up, and he just struck out again. Rio down on strikes, one away. So first out by Dustin Richardson, who is proving once again he can absolutely go deep into games if asked to do so. First pitch by Richardson to Adam Odd is a ball, 1-0. You look at the rotation from the start of the year, and they had guys like Sebastian Kahn, who is not on the playoff roster. Here's the 1-0. That's hit to the left side in the air, moving over and trying to make the play is Greg Carrington, but just out of his reach. And if Carrington couldn't get to that ball, just about no outfielder could. 1-1. One ball, one strike. Kicks and throws. And Dustin Richardson would like us to forget about that pitch as it goes into the dirt and back to the backstop. Count 2-1. Kicks and throws again. That's up and in. And the count is 3-1. Here's the 3-1 from the lefty. Hit off the end of the bat to the left side. Carrington going to have a play on this one as he moves over to the foul line. And there are two quick outs. Here's Infante. Here's Infante for the second time today. We mentioned how Infante has a couple of really big games this season. If you look back in that game log, he had that game where he hit 2 home runs against Kitchener, had 5 RBI. And he hits that one to right field. Is it going to stay fair? Yes, it is. Infante is going to have extra bases here. Goes into second base with a double as Marcus Connect throws it in. 2-out double for Branfy Infante. So a runner in scoring position for the Baycats left fielder, James Anderson. Here's a fun fact about Branfy Infante, by the way. This season, he has pitched in 2 games. He has not allowed a run, and in those 2 games combined, the Baycats won 30-1. So basically, they win big when Branfy Infante pitches. That's how it works, right? Look, I'm looking down the media booth. I'm being told that's how it works. Infante takes the lead off second base. Kicks and throws. That's up the middle for a base hit. Goes into the outfield. Connor Lewis is going to field it, but Infante is going to score, and the Baycats tie things up here in the 4th. So an RBI single for James Anderson, and the Baycats tie things up here in the fourth inning off Dustin Richardson. First pitch to Burns is swung on and missed, 0-1. Lefty-lefty matchup on paper that would benefit the pitcher in this situation. Throw on to second after the ball. In safely is Anderson with the stolen base. Count 2-1. I should correct myself. Count 1-1. Chance of Let's Go Baycats from the great crowd here at Vintage Throne Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here it comes. Cut on and miss, 1-2. Burns in the batter's box, gets into his stance. Sees the pitch coming in, and that's strike 3. Burns down on strikes, and Richardson gets out of the inning. But the Baycats score 1. They've tied things up here in Barrie. You're watching the IBL playoffs on Baycats TV and on Rogers TV in Barrie.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
Fifth inning on Baycats TV, brought to you by Etal Paving. For all of your residential, commercial, industrial paving needs, providing quality service for over 37 years because you deserve the best. Marcus Connect will lead things off here for the Barrie Baycats, or for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I did it again. Gary looking at me, I did it again. That's a strike. Marcus Connect, again, of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Maybe he's a future Baycat. Maybe that's why I'm doing it. Kicks and throws. That's outside, 1-1. Pitch from Grieveson. Hit up the middle. On a tricky bounce from Jansen, he'll keep it in the infield, but Connect will reach base. Jansen did a good job to keep it from going into the outfield, but Connect has good enough speed where he did not have a play. So Connect, who has good speed, over on first base, and that'll bring up Lewis. Connor Lewis has made a couple of nice plays in the outfield today. Has a hit as well in 2 at-bats. Shows bunt, pitch just outside. And the count is 1-0. It's been a very good strike zone so far today. Shows bunt again. This time it's a strike anyway, and the count is 1-1. First time he pulled it back and it was a ball outside. That time he didn't pull it back and it was a strike anyway. So a proper bunt attempt that time. Here's the 1-1. It won't happen yet. He throws over to first. Back in time is the runner connects. Here in the 5th inning here at Vintage Throne Stadium. Been a good game so far. Baycats and the Leafs tied up. Leafs have more hits so far. They've got a lot of singles today. That's fouled away. Up over 10 hits now. Baycats have 3. But they've come at big spots. That James Anderson RBI single. Hits from Odd, Infante, and Anderson so far. That double by Branfy Infante that got this crowd going. Here's the 1-2. Up and in, 2-2. Grieveson ready on the mound. Glove by the chest. Gets a sign. Comes home. And that's popped up foul into the trees. No action in either bullpen right now, by the way. As Grieveson comes home. And this one's hitting to fair territory. Moving over is Wilson. He'll have a long way to go, and it's going to get down and go all the way to the outfield. Connect's going to be able to round third here. He'll have a chance at home as Lewis goes to third. The Leafs just hit an RBI triple, and they go up 2-1 off the hit by Connor Lewis. So just like that, the Leafs, after having the lead for a little while after the top of the 3rd, have come back with their 12th hit of the game and their 2nd run here in the top of the 5th inning. Here's Mara. Dan Mara, the second baseman. Justin Mara not in the lineup today. Hit off the end of the bat, foul to the right side. Now we hear that sound effect on some of the foul balls, and considering that was hit pretty much the same place as the last time, that car or whatever made that sound is has a couple of baseballs on it now. Caught in left field, throw comes in. It's not going to be in time. Another run comes in, this time Connor Lewis, and the Leafs have taken a 3-1 lead. So the Leafs have added 2 runs here in the 5th inning. On the ground to second base. Owen Jansen takes it on a hop, throws on to first. Adam Odd makes the catch. 2 away here in the inning. Score at 4-3 on the ground out there. So here's Tamani. And that's down and away. Tamani came in as a pinch runner in game 1 of this series. Takes another pitch from Grieveson, this time a strike, 1-1. Took the first pitch for a ball. Took that one for a strike. That's outside. 3 pitches have gone by, and Tamani has not swung at any of them so far. Hit .264 in the regular season. And hits that one right to Jansen on a bounce. Throws on to first, and that'll end the inning. But the Leafs add 2, and they have taken a 3-1 lead here in Game 2 of the IBL Playoff Series. You're watching Baycats TV, and the Baycats on Rogers TV Barrie. pitching. Now pitching for the Toronto Maple Leafs is Dylan Jacober, the right-hander.
44.
Jacober did not pitch yesterday because just about nobody pitched yesterday. We saw the Leafs with Angel Castro on the mound, and they needed only one reliever, Franklin Hernandez. So Jacober nice and fresh for this game. He has been a really nice addition for the Leafs this season. Has 41 strikeouts in 47 innings, so he can get the strikeout even if it's not super high. The walk's a little higher than he would like at 25, but still not a problem. It's the hits that have been higher than he's wanted to this year, 58 in 47 innings. So he has been good most of the time, but when it's gone wrong, it has gone really wrong. He pitched 4 innings against Kitchener on August 18th and gave up 10 runs, 4 walks, no strikeouts, and 11 hits. So that last outing did not go the way he wanted it to at all. Leafs hoping for something a little bit stronger from him today. They get 4 innings out of Dustin Richardson, and now are hoping for, you would imagine, at least 2 or 3 from Jacober on the hill. Here's Tyler Plumpton to lead off the inning. So here's Plumpton as GM and catcher Damon Topley goes out to talk to his pitcher, Dylan Jacober. Not a combination you see very often, GM and player, but that's what Damon Topley is right now. Has been a first baseman and a catcher for the Leafs for quite some time. Here's the pitch to Tyler Plumpton, and it's down and away for ball number 1. Plumpton flew out in the 3rd inning. That's his only at bat so far. Counting at 2-0 after that last pitch was a ball. And that's a strike. 2-1. Regular viewers of the Baycats know that Plumpton does not wear batting gloves up there. I'll have to ask him about why he doesn't. Hit on the ground to second base. Dan Mara over to Jordan Castaldo for the out. First out of the inning. So here's Cawley. You talk about Brendan Cawley with people who have watched him across his rookie season in the IBL, and a couple of things really stand out. First, he gets on base an awful lot. He's a guy that takes a lot of walks and has a high on-base average. But then you look at his defense, and not only does he play consistent defense, he also has an amazing arm over there at third base. And we've been seeing that more and more as the season goes on, where he just makes a throw and you go like, okay, this guy could almost be a pitcher. He's got a fantastic arm over there at third. Count 2-0 to Cawley. Hit to the right side. That's a fair ball. Connect will field it. Rounding first is Cawley. This is going to be close at second. Throw comes in, and he is out. Cawley out trying to stretch a single into a double, 2 away. You could see why Cawley would want to move to second base on that. It went to a tricky part of the outfield, but Connect has an excellent arm out there. And Vinicio made a great catch, put the tag on in plenty of time. And it was a pretty clear out. First pitch to Owen Jansen's up and away. No, it's just going to get the strike zone. It has been a little bit bigger of a strike zone, but it has been consistent today. So don't take me mistaking it there as a critique of the umpire. He's been pretty good today. Here's the 0-1. Lined right side and foul. Ryan Jackson over there, the first base umpire, making the call. Love that background music here at Vintage Throne Stadium. The excellent stadium team has been working on getting more music and sounds at the ballpark, and it's created a fantastic fan experience. So too, fouled away. Dan Miller on the soundboard today. No balls, 2 strikes to Owen Jansen. Leafs lead 3-1 here in the 5th. Here it is. Swing and a miss. Jansen down on strikes. Throw to first after the drop, 3rd strike. They get him and confirm the strikeout to end the inning. Leafs up 3-1. You're watching Baycats TV and the Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bachet, a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer.
Brad Gravison back on the mound for inning number 6 here. 6th inning brought to you by the Canadian Brew House as Greg Carrington hits that one to right. It's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. The speedy Carrington going all the way to second. He's going to go to third as the ball is still in the outfield. Being brought in now, it is a easy triple for Greg Carrington to lead off the inning. The Canadian Brew House, by the way, our house is your house. This inning brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. Meeting on the mound now, it's Josh Matlow talking to Brad Gravison. Tyler Plumpton out there as well. As Jose Vinicio set to bat, we'll see if Gravison is out of the game. Gravison will be out of the game. New pitcher coming in for the Baycats. We'll see who it is after a break. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Adam Kahn, the new pitcher here for the Barrie Baycats, as he'll face off against Jose Vinicio. Kahn making his first appearance of the postseason for the Baycats in his first year with Barrie. And the first pitch from the righty is a strike, 0-1. Inherits a runner at third base. That's Greg Carrington, who tripled to lead off the inning. In the regular season, Kahn pitched in 16 games. He started 10 of them. Went 3-4, had 49 strikeouts in 56 innings. Pitch inside. Count now 1-1. Looking to go a couple innings for the Baycats and keep it close. Baycats currently trail by 2 runs here in the 6th. That's down and in. 2-1. Carrington's got good speed at third. Vinicio's got good speed at the plate. So if there's a ball on the ground, you might have to pick where to go. Here it comes from the mound, and it's fouled away, 2-2. And that's a big pitch right there to get that foul ball, because now you can go in for the strikeout. In a situation with a speedy runner at third and nobody out, getting closer and closer to K's is what you want to be doing out there on the hill. You always want to be doing that, but especially with speedy runners on base. Here's the 2-2. Through into the outfield for a base hit. Vinicio singles, Carrington scores, and it's 4-1. It was hit down the right side, and it got through Adam Ott and Owen Jansen. And the Leafs extend their lead. It's 4-1. So Castaldo standing in. Baycats just trying to keep the game as close as they can after Toronto has scored for the 3rd time in the last 4 innings. They're up 4-1 now, and they have 10 more hits than Barrie in this game. The former Baycat Castaldo standing in. Castaldo returned to the Toronto Maple Leafs via the hometown player rule for, I believe, 2020, although he didn't make his debut until 2021 because the 2020 season was canceled. But he sure gave some good memories to Baycats fans. And now doing the same for the Maple Leafs fan base over at Christie Pitts. Count 0-1 to Castaldo as Kahn throws over. They've already picked off a runner today. I believe that was Carrington earlier this game. This time it's Vinicio over at first, who is even faster. Here's the 0-1. Fouled away. Fans getting behind Adam Kahn once again here. They have the rally towels, and they have the enthusiasm to back the Barrie Baycats in this one. Hoping that their team gets back in it. Runner going to second. Vinicio is just too fast. He's in well before the throw, up to scoring position. Count now 1-2 as the ball was low. One ball, 2 strikes to Jordan Castaldo. Adam Kahn stares in, gets the sign from Tyler Plumpton, glove by the chest, looks back at the runner. Vinicio taking a lead, does not go, and the pitch is in there for swinging strike 3. Castaldo down by way of the K, 1 away. So here's Jonathan Salazzo. Salazzo, left-handed hitter against the right-handed Khan. He's another very, very strong hitter, known as one of the best third basemen in the IBL. You look at the third baseman in this league between him and Malik Collymore at the top. Count 0-1 now to Salazzo. Khan kicks and throws, and it's outside. Garrett Takamatsu's team has really played well down the stretch. They managed to get that division spot, 24-18 record in the regular season. They finished in 4th place. They had a winning record on the road, which was big this season. If you had a winning record on the road, you were in really good shape. Benicio going for third. He'll have that stolen. Throw over to first on the ground ball. Runner's out at first, but Benicio takes the opportunity to go home and score an extra run. Heads up base running by Jose Benicio, who took the opportunity. Salazzo's not the fastest runner, so while he was on his way down to first, he scored. It's 5-1. A great play just by Jose Benicio, paying attention on the base paths and noticing that the Baycats were taking their time to get the slower runner Salazzo. Scores on the play. And for the second time this inning, the Maple Leafs have scored. 4th time in the last 2 innings. They scored their first run in the top of the 3rd. Baycats countered with a run of their own in the bottom of the 4th, and since then, in the top of the 5th and the top of the 6th, the Maple Leafs have added on 2. Count now 0-2 to Connect. Connect rejoined the team just before the signing deadline this season and has made a big impact. Fouled away. Hitting .571 in the playoffs across these 2 games so far. Small sample size, but he also hit .343 in the regular season. He had 3 home runs in last year's playoffs. Here's the 0-2. Hit to left center field. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Connect is going to have extra bases as he rounds first. He's into second. It's a double for Marcus Connect, his 3rd hit of the day. And the Baycats dealing with a runner in scoring position again. The Baycats just have not been missing bats the way that these pitchers can and the way that they were hoping today. The Leafs scored 5 runs in Game 1 in a 5-3 win for Toronto, and now have scored 5 runs in Game 2 as well. Looks back at the runner, now comes home. Hit off the end of the bat by Lewis into the outfield. Infante runs in and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Leafs have taken a 5-1 lead by adding 2 more runs here in the top of the 2nd. You're watching Baycats TV and the Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie. Jake Wilson will lead things off for the Baycats here in the bottom of the 6th inning against Dylan Jacober. Jacober entering his 2nd inning of work. And the first pitch is a ball. Jacober struck out 1 and had a clean inning in the last inning through 12 pitches, and that one's fouled away. One ball, one strike. Couple of left-handed hitters for Jacober, the righty, to face to start off the inning. And it's fouled again. Count now 1-2. Wilson 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Kicks and throws, and that is inside and low. Counting at 2 balls, 2 strikes to Wilson. Fly ball right side, that's going to go out of play. Someone going to make the play? No, someone tried. But you know the phrase, sign that fan up, when a fan makes an amazing play? Nobody's signing that fan based on that play. That was a bad play. That's why you bring your glove. 2-2. Fouled away again. Good at bat here by Jake Wilson. If you bring your glove, you'll have a chance at those plays. You'll almost always get a ball. Jacober ready, has his sign. Glove by the waist. And now kicks and throws. That's hit up the middle for a base hit. Jake Wilson on base for the first time today. And the Baycats lead off the inning with a base runner. So here's Rio. Rio has struck out twice today, but saw the ball really well in game 1. Wilson's going, throw over to second, gets through. Manages to keep it from going into the outfield. It looked like it got through anyway, but in there safely is Jake Wilson. You look at Rio, the way he was swinging the bat in game 1. He was just seeing the ball so well against Angel Castro, hitting for big power. And he's a guy that's used to hitting at Christie Pitts. So tomorrow night, as the series goes back to Christie Pitts, it's actually tomorrow afternoon, my apologies, at 2 p.m. As the game goes back to Christie Pitts, you wonder how Rio will react. As we look at the upcoming schedule, you see today is game 2, and then tomorrow afternoon at Dominico Field is the game 3. And game 4 back here in Barrie if necessary. Game 5 in Toronto if necessary. It's best 3 of 5. Rio swings and misses through that. Count now 1-2. And all the way across the Intercounty Baseball League, we're seeing some great playoff matchups. All the series in the IBL, all 4 are in action today. Kitchener and Welland get started at 7 o'clock. Hamilton Guelph gets started at 7:30, and London Brantford gets started at 8 p.m. All those games available via the Welland Jackfish YouTube channel, the Guelph Royals YouTube channel, and the Brantford Red Sox YouTube channel. That's down low. Count now 3-2 to Rio. So if you're a big IBL fan, or you want to stay up to date with the out-of-town scoreboard, you can watch all of those games tonight. 3-2. Popped up. Left side, Salazzo going back. Vinicio running in. Vinicio is going to call everybody off and make the catch. And Rio retired, one away. So here's Adam Odd. And if I can do a little bit of promo for the broadcasters across this league, each team's broadcast teams have done such a good job in calling their team's action this year. First pitch to Odd is swung on and missed. You're going to see Brendan Lang on the call in Welland as their play-by-play guy. And then Scotty Fraser, Neil Sriwastawa in Guelph, and Reese Dumani and Colin Ward in Brantford. 3 great broadcast teams taking you through the IBL playoffs. Swinging a miss, gets away from Topley. Runner goes up to third. Heads up play to move up to third by Jake Wilson. And the Baycats have a runner 90 feet from home. Here's the 0-2. And that is strike 3. Odd down on strikes on a pitch that looked a little inside. 2 out. So here's Infante. 2 out now in the inning. Just taking another look at that pitch behind the scenes. It did look inside to Adam Odd. He had a right to be irritated by that call. That is a strike to Branfy Infante. It has been a bit of a bigger strike zone today consistently, and it has been mostly consistent, although it opened up just a touch there. Wilson takes the lead off third. Infante grounds it foul behind the plate. Here's the 0-2 to Infante. Jacober looking for a second scoreless inning out of the bullpen. Pitch outside, 1-2. That was his 30th pitch of the day. Got his sign from Topley, but Infante calls time. One ball and 2 strikes. Here it is. On the ground, left side. That's a fair ball. Infante rounds first. He's headed to second. Wilson's going to score. And the Baycats on the board for the first time since the 4th inning. It's 5-2. Meeting on the mound now between Dylan Jacober and Damon Topley. An umpire now talking to Infante and Vinicio over at second base. I think Maple Leafs just wanted to make sure they were confident that ball was fair, but the umpire's back in position. We will play on. Baycats have added a second run. It is officially 5-2. James Anderson back up at the plate. And chance of let's go Baycats. On the ground, left side. That one's well foul. Andrew White, the third base coach, almost made a play on that. Fans getting into it. Here's James Anderson. Had a big hit earlier. An RBI single to score Bramphy Infante, who just took third on that pitch. Infante and Anderson have been excellent today at the plate. Infante scored the first run. Hoping to add another here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hit to second base. Moving over, Mara takes his time, throws on to first, and that'll end the inning. But the Baycats do add one more. It's 5-2. Heading to the 7th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and the Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
Danielle May Real Estate, supporting the Barrie Baycats and ready to help with all of your real estate questions. What is your home worth? Should you sell now or wait? Danielle is dedicated to your success. The next time you think real estate, think Danielle May. Your Canadian source for first aid kits, AEDs, safety products, and more. Shop online today at firstaidcanada.com. Life is precious. Be prepared.
Leading off the inning against Adam Kahn for the Baycats. On the mound is Dan Mara for the Maple Leafs at the plate. Maple Leafs have a 5-2 lead in the 7th inning here in Game 2 of the first round IBL playoff series between the Maple Leafs and the Baycats as Mara takes a strike 0-1. 7th inning is brought to you by Firehouse Subs, only top quality freshly sliced meats and cheeses piled high on toasty hot rolls. Buy subs, save lives. Here's the 0-1. And that's just high, 1-1. Mara, the second baseman today, was also the second baseman in Game 1. He went 0 for 3 in that game with a walk. Hits the right field. Infante moving over, makes the catch, one away. So with one out, here's Damon Toppoli. Toppoli in last night's game went 1 for 3. He also had a walk and eventually was lifted for the pinch runner, Grant Tamani. First pitch down low to Toppoli. In that game, though, he was the DH, so he was able to be lifted for the pinch runner. Today, the Maple Leafs do not have Justin Mara in the lineup. They're expecting Mara back tomorrow. Hit up the middle, another base hit for Damon Toppoli. He's hitting well this postseason so far. It's a one-out single for the Maple Leafs catcher. So Toppoli, who is not the fastest runner on the team, over at first. The Baycats thinking double play with Grant Tamani at the plate. Showing bunt, pulls it back, and it's upstairs. That fan has an opinion on what Grant Tamani should do. Here's the 1-0. Bunted down the first base line. Odd fields it, flips it to Jansen, and they get the runner at first. Tamani up to second goes Toppoli, 2 away. So Greg Carrington will bat now. The speedy outfielder. Carrington's had a mixed day at the plate. He had a big hit, that triple, but he was also picked off first base. Kahn taking his time, looks back at the runner Topley, who's not a stealing threat. Comes home, and the ball is popped up to left field. Moving over is James Anderson. He makes the play, and the Baycats have a nice inning on the mound. Heading to the bottom of the 7th. Baycats still trailing 5-2. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Carson Burns will lead things off here in the Baycats half of the 7th inning. It'll be Burns, Plumpton, and Colley. Bottom of the order for the Baycats. They try to get themselves back in this game. Currently down 5-2. Dylan Jacober entering his 3rd inning of work. Burns swings at the first pitch and hits it to left field. Moving over is Carrington. He makes the catch, 1 away. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Jacober in his 3rd inning of work. He has 35 pitches total now. And here's Tyler Plumpton. Batting from the right side against the right-handed pitcher Jacober. Check swing, they go over to first, and they say he went. That was an interesting call over there at first base. It did not look like he went from this angle, but the umpire says he did, so that's what we'll go with here. Count 0-1. Here it comes. Up the middle. Base hit, Tyler Plumpton. A single for Plumpton, and the Baycats have a base runner. And to be honest, that's one of the tougher areas for an umpire to judge, the check swing from that angle behind first base. So I'm not going to blame the umpire too much, but it did appear like he missed that one. But it doesn't matter because Tyler Plumpton ended up getting on base and making it so it was a non-factor. First pitch to Brandon Colley is a ball, 1-0. Colley 0 for 2 today. 1 for 4 in the postseason coming into today as he hits that one to left field for a base hit. 2 straight singles off Dylan Jacober, and that has been Jacober's problem recently, giving up too many hits. So here's Jansen as the Leafs assemble for a mound visit. Third baseman Salazzo, first baseman Castaldo, catcher Toppoli, and Dustin Richardson all out to the mound. The starting pitcher in this game, Richardson, acting as a bit of a pitching coach right now. Not a long visit as everybody had to get back to their spot, and Jansen will bat. Jansen, the lefty, with 2 on and only 1 out. Pitch from Jacober outside, ball 1. Count 1-0 to Jansen. Kicks and throws. On the ground, right side, could be 2. Castaldo thinks about it, but instead goes to first base and just gets the 1. Runners advance to second and third with 2 out. Jake Wilson, who singled his last time up, really would love another one here, or any type of hit will do. First pitch swung on and missed, 0-1. Runners on second and third. That's Brendan Colley at second base, Tyler Plumpton at third base. Plumpton's got average speed, Colley's got good speed. Wilson's got excellent speed at the plate. Here's the 0-1 from Dylan Jacober. Down and in, 1-1. This inning started with a flyout, and then Tyler Plumpton singled. Brendan Colley singled as well. And then, sacrificed by Owen Jansen, advanced the runners. Here's the 1-1. Count now 1-2. Postseason baseball here on Baycats TV. 2 runners in scoring position, 2 out. Pitch from Jacober on the ground. Castaldo's going to play it, and he tags Wilson to retire the side. Still 5-2 Toronto as we head to the 8th. You're watching Baycats TV and the Barrie Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
BarrieToday.com. Local news, weather, Baycat scores, and more. BarrieToday.com. Your community, your news. The Canadian Brewhouse is a one-of-a-kind Canadian-themed sports bar. Stop by and enjoy live sports action and an extensive menu with amazing food and drink specials. Just off the 400 at Park Place in Barrie. Join the Canadian Brewhouse after the game.
I'm Christina De Palma, and whether you're looking for help with small claims court, a problem with your tenant, a traffic ticket, a notary, or looking for mediation, De Palma & Associate Legal Services can help. Know the rules, know your rights, solid advice.
Jose Vinicio will lead things off here in the 8th inning against Adam Kahn, who's back out there for another inning. Again, just trying to keep things close for the Baycats. They have 2 more opportunities to score some runs, get back out in the lead. They need 3 to tie. First pitch from Kahn to Vinicio is taken all the way for a strike. 8th inning, by the way, brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs. Here's the 0-1. That is down low. 1-1. Top of the order for the Maple Leafs. Here it is. Inside, 2-1. Baycats bullpen. Trying to see if anybody's throwing right now. I don't believe there is. Just trying to get a look there. No, there's nobody throwing in that bullpen right now. 2-1, fouled away. So it's Adam Kahn's inning. He has thrown 2. This is his 3rd inning of work. And it'll be the top of the order, Vinicio, and then Castaldo and Salazzo. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Just outside, 3-2. Vinicio, who did not get that call in his first at-bat, gets it here. Was so frustrated with the strike zone back then. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Fouled off. We'll do it again. Was so frustrated with that call in the first inning because he had already thrown his bat aside to go to first for the walk on a 3-2 count. But it was strike 3. Now in another 3-2 count. This time against Adam Kahn instead of Brad Grieveson. Kicks and comes home. Up and away, and this time Vinicio does reach via the walk. A leadoff base runner for the Maple Leafs. So Jordan Castaldo bats with a runner on, and that's never the ideal situation for a guy like Castaldo, who went deep in last year's postseason game here at Vintage Throne Stadium. That was a game that Toronto was up by quite a bit, and Barrie almost came back. Cano 0-1 after the leadoff, or the first strike of the at-bat. Can I call it the leadoff strike of the inning? Is that something anyone's ever said? No. I don't think so. It's not technically wrong. No. Or the leadoff strike of the at-bat. Swing and a miss. Runner going, and they got him! Trying to steal second base is the speedy Jose Vinicio, and Tyler Plumpton throws him out. 1 away. Count now 0-2 to Castaldo. Can they get another out of this inning? The Baycats fans certainly hoping so. 0-2, here it is. No, not on that one. 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Kicks and comes home. Swing and a miss. Castaldo down on strikes, 2 away. First pitch, a ball to Jonathan Salazzo. Salasso, the lefty, against the righty Adam Kahn, now with 2 out in the inning. Kicks and throws. Big swing and a miss. 1-1. This is a big inning for the Barrie Baycats season. Down 1-0 in a best 3 of 5 series. This is game 2. Trying to stay close. Adam Kahn trying to keep this game within reach. That one's outside, 2-1. Base is empty, 2 men out. Kahn ready, glove by the waist, kicks and comes home. And that's popped up. Cauley going for it, Burns going for it as Cauley trips, and Burns makes the play to retire the side. A big inning out there on the mound by Adam Kahn. And the Leafs still only lead 5-2. Baycats trying to get back in it when we come back right here on Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Net. Ryan Rio to lead things off against the new pitcher for the Toronto Maple Leafs, Chris Nagorski. He relieves Dylan Jacober and Dustin Richardson in this game. And they'll be facing off against the tough part of the Baycats order, Ryan Rio, Adam Odd, and Branfy and Fonse, who have all been seeing the ball well in this playoff series. Left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher. Long pause. Now Rio hits that one to right center field. Going back is Carrington. And it's gone! Rio goes deep. That's the second home run of the series for Ryan Rio as the crowd gives him a big cheer. And here's Adam Odd. Man, Rio hit that ball really well. And the Baycats within 2 now. It's 5-3. First pitch is a strike to Odd. Chris Nagorski on the hill trying to get through this inning, but it started with a Ryan Rio home run as that one's way inside to Odd. Count now 1-1. Waiting a long time between pitches, now comes home and that's a strike, and you can tell by Odd's face that he wished he could have that one again. Hit to the left side, this time a fastball, and hit out of play. Got a off-speed pitch on the pitch before that, and then a fastball that time. Here's the 1-2. Got him, and that is strike number 3. Throws over to Salazzo, and there's one away. Infante stands in now. He's had an amazing day at the plate. And normally I don't use the phrase amazing when describing someone's day at the plate, but Infante has really seen the ball well. Sun coming in, by the way, from right field could affect the visibility of the ball. More for hitters than defenders right now. That's what happens at this park after 6 p.m. 1-0. There's a strike. Count now 1-1. Base is empty, 1 man out, 1 runner in. And that's a strike. Count 1-2. Strike zone opening up a little bit more once again, and fans reacting to it. Infante, not visibly reacting at least, although he can't be thrilled with it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Swing and a foul back. One ball, 2 strikes. Infante steps back in. Chris Nagorski on the mound. Here's the 1-2. And that is fouled off the bat. Awkward angle back to the screen. We'll do it again. Still 1-2. Topley taking his time back behind the backstop. Fans once again getting behind the Barrie Baycats. 1-2 count to Brantfy Infante. Here it comes. That's popped up, and it'll go out of play behind the plate. Topley was hoping to have a play on it, but he won't. One ball, 2 strikes to Infante. Gets back in. It's been a lengthy at-bat. And that's inside. No, it's strike 3. Infante visibly reacts this time. He has quite the reaction, and he's been thrown out of this game. And that ball was pretty visibly inside from this angle that we've seen in the press box here. And he'll get his money's worth in the outfield, or he'll get his money's worth in front of the plate. You wonder who's going to replace him in the outfield, though. It'll have to be Juan Familia entering this game. Here's James Anderson. So Familia will likely enter for Infante. First pitch to Anderson is fouled away. That ball was not really a strike. I think I'm comfortable saying that. It was mostly a consistent zone for most of this game, but there have been a few calls that players have not been a fan of in the last couple innings. Oh, 1 to James Anderson. Fair territory, right field. Moving over is Connect. He'll make the play, and that'll end the inning. Anderson flies out. Heading to the top of the 9th inning, Baycats have to score 2 to tie the game and 3 to take the lead in the bottom of the 9th. But first, the Leafs will hit. You're watching Baycats TV and the Barrie Baycats on Rogers TV in Barrie.
Visit Alliance Billiards and Sports in the northeast end of Barrie. A fun, friendly family environment offering pool, darts, karaoke, and live entertainment. Enjoy a large variety of delicious food and drinks on the patio. You'll come as a stranger and leave as a friend. Revive MD Medical and Aesthetic Clinic, privately owned by Dr. Marina Bachet, a one-of-a-kind clinic that covers a variety of medical and cosmetic concerns. Visit 411 Bayfield Street, Unit B12 in Barrie or revivemedspa.ca.
Join us this summer at the Baycats Summer Baseball Camp.
See you this summer!
Marcus Connect will lead things off here in the top of the 9th inning. 9th inning brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs. Adam Kahn still out there on the hill. He'll face off against Connect, Connor Lewis, and Dan Mara. And try to prevent the Leafs from scoring any more and give his team a chance to come back in the bottom of the 9th inning. Ground ball to Carson Burns on the first pitch. Throw over to first. Odd makes the catch. One quick out. So here's Connor Lewis. Lewis, right-handed hitter against the right-handed Adam Kahn. And the first pitch is outside. Can't 1-0. That's hit to left field. That's a base hit for Connor Lewis. And the Toronto Maple Leafs with another base runner. That's their 16th hit of the afternoon. And if they go on to win this game, it'll be because of all those singles throughout the game. Dan Mara standing in now. Right-handed hitter. Bat over the shoulder, and the first pitch to him is a strike. So Con has been pitching well over the last couple innings, really keeping his team in the game. But it's going to get tougher and tougher as these guys see more of him. And you think back to his strong outings as a starter, especially against London, that one game, as that goes back behind the backstop, Plumpton will get it, but Connor Lewis will move up to second base. You think about that game against London here at Vintage Throne Stadium, and you know what he can do on the hill. And even though this is not a start for Con, this is his fourth inning of work. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here it comes. On the ground, Burns has it, throws on to first, and that's 2 out. Moving to third is Lewis, but the Baycats are an out away from heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. So here's Damon Toppoli. You'd imagine Justin Morrow would be back in the lineup tomorrow night in Toronto. So Toppoli just filling in today. It has not stopped the Leafs offense to not have one of the best hitters in the IBL in that lineup, which is a little bit frightening from the Baycats' perspective, at least. Count 0-1. This Leafs lineup can hit. It's outside. Ball 1. In the bottom of the 9th for Barrie, it'll be Carson Burns, Tyler Plumpton, and Brendan Colley. 1 ball, 1 strike to Toppoli. You look at Burns and Plumpton, both guys who take good at-bats. Plumpton, one of the best hitters on the Baycats this season, and Colley, a guy who walks a lot. It's not a typical bottom of the order, but it is the bottom of the order for the Baycats. If a couple of those guys can get on, then you go to Jansen, Wilson, Rio in the top of the order. 2 balls, 1 strike. Up the middle, base hit, Damon Toppoli. Connor Lewis is going to score. And the Maple Leafs take a 6-3 lead here in the top of the 9th. So Grant Tamani will bat. Leafs have a run in this inning. They have scored in every inning except the 1st, 2nd, 7th, and 8th, and the 4th. So I guess it's kind of half and half, isn't it? Not a great way for me to set up that sentence, but they have scored in the 3rd, 5th, 6th, and 9th. First pitch to Tamani is a strike, 0-1. That's fouled away. Toronto scored their first run in the top of the 3rd inning. Then the Baycats countered with a run in the bottom of the 4th. Toronto scored 2 in each of the 5th and 6th. Baycats scored 1 in the bottom of the 6th. And then the Baycats scored another in the bottom of the 8th thanks to a Ryan Rio home run. But the Leafs have answered with another one here in the top of the 9th inning. Count 1-2. To Grant Tamani. Adam Kahn on the hill. That's just high, 2-2. Playoff schedule coming up. The next game, Game 3, is tomorrow in Christie Pitts at 2 o'clock p.m. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kahn taking his time, glove by the waist, now comes home. That is strike 3. Tamani down on strikes. And the Barrie Baycats will get one final chance in this game to come back. It's 6-3 for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, heading to the bottom of the 9th inning. You're watching Baycats TV and Rogers TV in Barrie. Now pitch. Carson Burns pops up the first pitch he sees from Franklin Hernandez, the new pitcher. And it is caught by, I believe that was Jose Vinicio, moving into the outfield. One away. Franklin Hernandez pitched in game 1 of this series, and he's got an excellent slider. And he was really, really good in that first game. Hoping to close things down again here, as he's kind of inherited that closer spot from Dustin Richardson, who started this game. First pitch was a ball to Tyler Plumpton. We originally thought it was Sam Green on the hill, but it is Franklin Hernandez. Here's the 1-0. There's a strike.
Don't choke. I'm off duty.
Ninth inning, by the way, brought to you by Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping. Mr. Lawn Care and Landscaping, servicing Simcoe County for all of your landscaping needs. Here's the 1-1. Right back to Hernandez. Over to first. And there are 2 away. Baycats down to their final out today. It'll be Brendan Colley up to the plate against Franklin Hernandez. Colley, the right-handed hitter, against the right-handed Hernandez. Franklin Hernandez, who has excellent stuff out there on the hill. Potentially a very quick inning here. First pitch to Colley's a strike. And the count is 0-1. That's outside, 1-1. Colley today has a hit and a strikeout. He's 1 for 3. He had a hit in yesterday's ball game as well. Hoping to extend this game, give the Baycats another chance to stay in it. Currently down by 3. Count now 1-2, and the Baycats are down to their final strike of the game. Baycats hoping to avoid going down 2-0 in this series. The best 3 of 5 series. Here's the 1-2. Colley pops it up, right side, connects over, loses his hat, and he's not going to be able to make the play on that. If the Maple Leafs go on to win this game, they'll be heading to Christie Pitts tomorrow afternoon with a 2-0 series advantage. The only other series right now that's 2-0 is Welland and Kitchener. Welland has a 2-0 lead over the Kitchener Panthers. The 1-2. Inside, gets away from Toppoli. There have been a few pass balls back behind the plate from Damon Toppoli today. Not normally the team's catcher, but can step in if needed. Count now 2-2. 2-2 pitch coming from Franklin Hernandez. got him, and that ends game 2. The Toronto Maple Leafs have taken a 2-0 series lead in this round 1 series of the IBL playoffs. We'll be back with a little bit of a wrap-up. After this, it's Baycats TV and Rogers TV at Barrie. Welcome back to Baycats TV. The Baycats fall in game 2, 6-3 to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs had 17 hits in this one, and they take game 2. Game 3 is tomorrow afternoon in Christie Pitts at 2:00 p.m., where the Baycats hope to get back in this series, and the Toronto Maple Leafs hope to wrap up the series. If they win tomorrow, it will be a sweep. Baycats really hoping that does not happen. We'll have to see what happens in that game. You've been watching Baycats TV. This has been Game 2 of Round 1 of the 2022 IBL playoffs. 3 more games across the league tonight. We hope you enjoy those as well. I'm Patrick Melbourne for Brian Backlund, our producer, Ben Davey, who's on assignment today. We thank you for watching Baycats TV and have a fantastic rest of the day.